Chief Meteorologist James Sahara and Storm Track 8 Weather, sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Boy, a real mixed bag coming at us here.
Oh, really? I mean, we've been hinting on it all this week. It's still looking pretty good, and it's really going to be focused for the later half of the weekend than anything else. So it's not an all, ice-capade event going on this weekend.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
In a local area. That would be interesting.
Ice-capades would be fun. Not in my driveway. Hey, what's that big blip that's up there north of Chicago?
I think that's a big old...
That's a computer thing,
That's
isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how to... That's a great way to explain it, Jim. It's been that way ever since yesterday. Doesn't feel like
Does it feel warmer?
Amoeba or something
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Yeah. Now it's on your head.
It's a weather amoeba.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Well, we don't like
and
it.
we'll try to define that maybe sometime this evening. We'll see. Right now we're seeing those temperatures looking pretty cold out there. Upper teens, lower 20s. Folks, you know what? These are the kind of daytime highs we expect to see even as we head into tomorrow. So looking pretty cold around here, that is for sure, especially with the little wind that's going on out there. Numbers are in the teens, areas to our north. Already feeling those wind chills in the single digits. In fact, if we go ahead and move the clock as far as how our wind chills will be for the rest of the night, yeah, looking pretty cold out there. In fact, some below zero wind chills expected just north of the Quad Cities. Galena could be as cold as -9 degrees. But all is dry out there. Big difference compared to wee hours of the morning with all that freezing rain and sleet that took place in areas to our south. That was a crazy event indeed. Lots of clouds around the area, and those clouds stream all the way back off around the California coastline. That's the area of low pressure, folks. We're going to be watching very carefully because as we go through this weekend, this system's going to spread moisture northward. And what we like to call overrun the cold air that's already in place around here, as well as much of the Midwest. So when you have this overrunning of some very warm Gulf air running over the cold surface ground, you're going to get a combination of freezing rain and sleet in this particular area alone. In fact, here are the watches and warnings that are already out for this weekend. The biggest news in areas around Kansas going into Missouri, where they're expected to see about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of ice. That is going to cause some just terrible conditions. From KC going to St. Louis right there, and I believe Interstate 70. There's going to be a lot of power outages in these two states, whereas farther north, this is where we got a winter storm watch. And you can see some of that does cover our viewing area, especially south of the Quad Cities. In fact, we go ahead and zoom in here. We can show you that from Mount Pleasant to Burlington, Galesburg, right along Highway 34, and heading into around Stark County. This is where we're going to be seeing some of that begin to accumulate. When? I believe is going to be developing as we go through Sunday, and right now I'm looking at about a good 1/4 of an inch of ice accumulating. So possibly even areas south, like maybe near Macomb, could be close to 1/2 an inch. No matter how you look at it, roadways here are going to be very tough, developing later Sunday as well. But that until later on. Until then, we're looking pretty dry around here. Lots of clouds. You can see some of this kind of pink shaded area. That's indicating some of that light freezing drizzle or ice that may be developing as Friday night and Saturday down to our south. Some of that may brush the area sometime later on, I say sometime in the early morning hours on Saturday. But really nothing more than that will produce any type of slick spots. Here's the same time period going in a local area. You can see just all clouds around the area. Then by 2:30 in the morning on Saturday, you can see somewhere areas just south of Highway 34 could get brushed by a little bit of that ice. And then we dry out going to the afternoon. But then as we make our way into about Sunday is when we start seeing that begin to expand even farther northward. In fact, as we go in and zoom in around the area, by the time we get to later Sunday, everything should be ending by about early Monday morning. You see how much of that ice expands as far north as the Quad Cities as well. But it's really south of the Quad Cities where that accumulation will be taking place. Interstate 74, 150, 61, 67, you name it. It's going to be really a mess around here come that time period. So for tonight, all dry, much colder night it will be. 11 degrees I see for the overnight low. Wind chills will be in the single digits. And then as we head into tomorrow, 23 for the daytime high, promising another chilly day, but a dry one. We'll be seeing that for the most part going into Saturday, but then Sunday, that's where things get a little interesting. Temperatures will improve as we head into the weekend, and even so going into next week. In fact, the moisture will continue going into Monday, but that's all going to be rain, folks, and a pretty good rain we could get, maybe close to an inch, and then it stays warm. Numbers will be around 40 to 45 degrees for daytime highs. Yes, this is January.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking
The trend
at.
continues on. There are some signs, though, as we get to the end of the month, things get a lot colder and more active. We could finally see some snow around that time.
Weird
But
month.
That's a way to go. And it has been a weird month, no doubt.
Thanks, James. And still to come tonight, peace of mind before boarding.
The new addition to an Iowa airport and what it means for new mothers traveling with or without kids.
We're always open or we're always closed. The thing is, we're never gone.
Rescuing animals without receiving any thanks until now, the unexpected gift that will help continue care.